What's up, everybody? Welcome to the PixelPlay podcast, episode 237. Adam, a.k.a. CS Radical, Kaylan, a.k.a. Catastrophe, Chris, a.k.a. Jin and Chris, a.k.a. the guy who's always laughing about something at the start of an intro, because it's one of either Kaylan or me do something that kind of makes them giggle, and that just seems to be the test of things. It's like, look, we're always trying to be upbeat to start things off, and, well, it doesn't take much to get this man smiling, so...
It doesn't. I don't know about you, Adam. Like, are you like my thing is not about making like a good podcast. I'm just here to see how often I could break Chris on this podcast.
I mean, it's quick. It's a noble venture.
It's quick. I have a tally that I just do for each episode of like how many times did I get Chris to like just burst out laughing.
And I just assume you're batting 1,000. So
that's close too.
He did jazz hands one time, just at the beginning of the video. Like that was hilarious. I couldn't hold it in.
Well, you know who couldn't also hold it in? Xbox, because they were like, you know what? We're really tired of losing people, so we really need to let the dam break and actually kind of, let some of that price go back down. So
we need less money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, if more people resubscribe to it, it will be actually more money again. So who knows, It's a bold strategy, and we'll talk about more of that when we get to the later parts of the show. We are also going to talk about Black Flag, because obviously Resynced has been announced now, and I'm sure nobody at all has been asking for that and impatiently waiting for it for like somewhere around like 7-ish years, I want to say, maybe a little bit more than that.
No, it's been longer than that.
Well, I'm more thinking like the outcry of it, because I don't think people were necessarily demanding a remake 10 years ago. I think 10 years ago we were more just demanding a good Assassin's Creed game again at that point. Well, I guess that technically would mean Black Flag, but, I digress. But we will talk about that and more, but obviously at the start of the show, like we always do, we will talk about what we've been playing. And I'm going to start off by saying nothing, because I haven't been doing much of anything.
Is this the right podcast?
We broke it. He's broken.
No, it's just been a stupid busy week for me. Like, I've put in, like, time to stuff that I've already been messing with. Like, MLB The Show's out, so I'm always grinding away at that. But, like, Mouse PI for Hire... Every once in a while, I pop it in for an hour. I throw a level or so in and slowly make my way through that. Lost and Found, I feel like I'm never going to finish at this point, which is fine. It's a lost. It's a treasure hunt game. Like I don't ever need to finish it, and maybe that's for the best. But like, there's nothing that I'm like super sinking my teeth into. There is like a JRPG I've started, but I'm not going to comment about it yet because I'm literally like an hour into it. So I don't want to say that I'm about to get deep into something and then all of a sudden it just ends up being another game that I kind of pass by. So I'm just in a waiting mode at this point, because Chris, I'm sure you're in a similar boat. Like it just feels like we're literally like to the day as we're recording this, like one day off, like First Light, because it's the 27th of May, I believe, right?
Yeah. 27.
Like, we're really just in a holding pattern for that at this point.
I mean, I'm more waiting on Persona 3 to finish.
That's different.
Because it's so fucking long.
And you love it.
I do love it. I mean, I might as well just go into what I've been playing, I guess, unless, Adam, you have a magical game that you're going to randomly pull out that you're like, actually, I'm kidding.
I wish I had something that I could pop into this one, but I don't.
Yeah, no, I'm personally still finishing Persona 3, but I actually think I'm near the end because they've kind of just announced who the final boss is, and because this game is that day cycle with a calendar, they actually said the day of the month that the final boss will show up. So it's kind of like, I know exactly.
Yeah, so you actually have like something ahead.
Yeah, I think I'm in the final month. The New Year's Eve just happened, and I'm in the beginning of January, and I'm pretty sure the game, I think that's the last month of the game, so to speak. And in the frickin' tower, the dungeon, Tartarus, I'm on floor 244.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Holy shit. This game just keeps, and the dungeon keeps interesting, because every, 30 floors, the entire aesthetic of the dungeon changes. It's like, oh, look, now it's psychedelic and hurts your eyes. Or it'll be, all gold.
It gets a lot better once you get to 4 and 5, because they start being actually, more based off of the... Because they have separate dungeons for each person that you're trying to save from there on out.
Okay,
Tartarus in 3 is literally just... It's one building, and it just has slight changes. Once you get to 4 and 5, the dungeons are way more unique. So you definitely won't fall into the same trap on the next one, although I'm sure you probably will be touching another one of these for at least a few months.
Oh, see, that's the issue because Persona 5 Royal, which I console share with you, I technically already have it, but it's 80% off on Steam right now and runs incredible on the Steam Deck. And I keep seeing it, and then I'm like, okay, it's very cheap. I could just buy it right now. I could add it to the backlog.
The
to
voices in your
myself.
head are being like, Chris.
I haven't bought it yet, and that's because what I do is I go on How Long to Beat, and I see that to beat the main game of that with no side content is over 100 hours now. It's going from 60
Royal
to
is
100.
DLC too.
Holy crap! So I'm like, no. I have trails, trails. I have like
Yeah,
12
you got to
of
go
those
back and
play.
start from scratch again because now you got to play the Sky remake.
Yeah, and I've got all the Yakuza games. I've still only played Zero, which technically is a prequel to the actual series. I haven't
You've
really
haven't
played
got
Yeah,
any.
you've technically not even really started the series.
You just started the crawl of the series like a Star Wars. That's just like watching the crawl from A New Hope and being like, well, I started it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chris has
yeah.
watched episode 1, and then that's it.
Yeah. So oh god, yeah. So yeah, I have the other things to play. I'm not gonna buy that. I'm not gonna buy it. But I am still really enjoying Persona 3. I thought I was gonna get burnt out of it, and I play a lot of it. The thing is I keep wanting to go back. Even I'll play 5 hours or something in an evening or something, and the next day I'll wake up and I'll be working, and I'll be like, I could be playing Persona right now. And it's weird because it's not like the gameplay has changed or anything. It's just the actual gameplay loop is that addicting or at least enjoyable that you kind of want to keep going back and just like, I'll just play a few more days. I'll see what happens. So
It's
yeah,
it's
the
also
story's
for the
very
same
interesting.
vibe of like, say, I mean, obviously you played one Trails game, like the way that that series handles, where it's just even the most basic dialogue that goes on with an NPC can actually have some meaning to it. So like,
100%.
granted, like not every conversation you have with your party members is going to be a big thing, but like there are some conversations with certain social links that you develop that aren't even party members that are just random NPCs that like they kind of just hit a chord, right? So
Yeah,
there are
100%.
certain ones that they do. Like you can't like it's the part that like this is also why I use 100% guide when I'm doing the dates so that way I don't miss anything because I would be having a really hard time to actually maximize my days because all I want to do is to like talk more to this one person even though it's not like the ideal time to do it. So
Yeah, speaking of those guides, I checked today. I had 14 different tabs open on my phone for different social links and everything. Holy crap, this game, yeah, there's a lot to invest. And I did romance somebody, and I was successful
Good for
in
you.
that. So I did. Yeah, I made sure to show my wife because it was just so cringy, some of the dialogue, when it's like you're announcing
I'm
you
trying
love
to
each other
think
for the
like
first time in the
I'm
game.
assuming you would have
Chris-
gone to Mitsuru.
I went for Mitsuru.
Okay.
Adam knows my type.
Chris,
Yay,
no,
look
what you
at
should
that.
have done is not told her. What you should have done is written it down and then actually try and serenade her with that.
No, it wouldn't have worked. There's no
It
way.
really does.
Yeah, I know it works with my wife, and it is not.
JRPG romance dialogue and wives very rarely collide together.
I mean,
Yes.
just by that logic, I guess Chris, like if you could have romanced in Metaphor, you probably would have gone straight to Hulkenberg, wouldn't have you?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you do
I
definitely have a type. All right.
I have a type. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, red hair, red long hair, French accent sometimes. That's not necessary, but it was a nice bonus. Yeah. So that, I was
Also can
I was
like
oh,
easily
this is-
stomp on you, which is definitely both Mitsuru and Hulkenberg. So
Yeah. Exactly.
Which is ironically nothing like his actual wife.
No. She could.
That we
no,
know
she's
of.
Very scary. But no, she doesn't have the height to to do it. But yeah,
What do you mean she's not a 6'8" elf that holds a spear? What?
Yeah, no, I haven't met one yet. But yeah, it was funny because I was showing her, and it's like they're about to spend the night together for the first time in the game, and I'm like, oh, Alex, the sex scene is going to happen, and she's like, there's not going to be one, and it just black screen, and it goes in just text. You spent a special night with Mitsuru. I'm
Yes,
like,
you did.
Really? That's it? All that work? Do you know how many days I had to work on this relationship to get it to this point?
And I hate
10.
and I hate to
10
break it to you,
exact
Chris.
days.
I don't think knowing how it's Japan, there was no sex. They just held hands. That's all it was.
Yeah, no, it was definitely just
Very
blushing
sensual
and-
hands, though.
It was
No,
very
just- they
blush.
just held hands,
So much
that's it.
blushing.
Those hands were
Absolutely
moisturized.
perverted those two, but they held hands.
But it was blurred. The hands were blurred.
Yeah.
The
exactly.
hands were blurred too. Yeah.
But you know what the thing is, like, I don't know if it's necessarily better because like I'm playing Mass Effect and I like had a romance, and it's not much better when you see it. Like, it always just feels weird to me. It's like watching, like, taking two Barbie dolls, like a Ken and Barbie, just smacking them together. That's all it is. It's so weird. Like, it's never hot. It's never done well. It's always just seems really, like, weird.
Look, not everybody can do it as well as Dispatch did with Invisigirl, all right?
Okay, yeah.
True.
Dispatch did it well.
I love how the segue from what I've been playing to what Kaylan's been playing is comparing the sex scenes. That's fantastic.
Well, I mean, to be fair,
Pixel-
Mass Effect does win because side ass.
Really?
to
It
the
beats over one line of text that took me 10 in-game days to work on getting to?
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to the PixelPlay podcast, the most degenerate podcast on the internet right now.
That's not true.
Degenerate gaming podcast.
That's not true. If I start a podcast tomorrow, I will fleece this fucking podcast.
Just reminds me of Bender from Futurama. Forget your podcast. Let's start my own podcast.
With blackjack and anime hookers.
Well, yeah, so that's what I've been playing on that note. Kaylan, you've been playing Mass Effect.
I finished Mass Effect, so I'm now done the
All right,
full
let's
Mass Effect.
get the hot take in.
Which one do you want?
Well, I
got
mean,
two.
you've been saying for a while that you're going to talk about how it's the best of all the three games. So.
I agree. I think Mass Effect 3 is the best of the three games. I think as a whole, too, I think the series is overrated. I think they're not... It's not bad, but I think that it's very disjointed. I think there was a mistake in... Like, someone in one of our podcasts made the analogy of, like, Mass Effect 2 being the last Jedi of Mass Effect and threw off the whole series. And I think that there's parallels between what happened with the new prequel trilogy and what happened with Mass Effect. So let me start first by starting with what I like about Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 3 feels like it's the game that has the most stakes. It has the most consistent storyline, but it's also the least Mass Effect-y game. So I really like the stakes. I like the idea of like going around and collecting, building up like a war party and everything. I like the fact there's fewer characters. I actually find that there was even no need for characters. Like, I was just rolling with Liara and James.
Well, I think it's the smallest party outside of like the original because there's only, I think, 6.
I think there's 6 if you include the DLC.
Yeah.
So, but like there's no purpose. Like, there's no companion missions, which is great. Like, I found that Mass Effect 2 was bogged down way too much by companions and companion missions. And I'll circle back to that to a second. But like, it was a consistent storyline. It was curious, like really cool going to the different planets and solving all like their long-time conflicts and like, curing the like Krogan genophage and like, figuring out the war between like the Geth and whatever. I really liked all of that. And I liked the combat. I liked the gameplay. I thought like the elusive man and that was all cool and stuff. Yeah, the ending was mediocre, and the decisions I made didn't really matter. But that was the whole point throughout the entire game, and I would argue throughout the entire series. None of the choices that you make matter at all in this game or in this series, right? So let's kind of talk about like the whole problem with Mass Effect as a whole. And once again, I liked each game individually, but like it was all kind of pointless in the sense. And I know we're playing video games are pointless in a sense, but like I look at Mass Effect 2 and like I wonder why I played that game. Like there was no reason to have Mass Effect 2. It does nothing to drive the story forward. All it introduces you to is the elusive man, and that's all there is. And that could have just been done in the third game. Like I get frustrated because I did all these companion missions, made all these choices, and then I get to Mass Effect 3, and I don't think any of my companions from Mass Effect 2 are even eligible to be companions on this game. Like your companions are Garrus from Mass Effect 1, Tali from Mass Effect 1, Kaylan or Ashley, I'm assuming I saved Kaylan, so I only had Kaylan from Mass Effect 1. Like you don't get to have any of your Mass Effect 2 characters as your like companions on the game. You don't get to have Jax, you don't get to have Miranda, you don't get to have, I think there's the one, what's his Morden?
Morden, yeah.
Morden's the only, no, you can't even play as Morden. So like none of the characters matter. All those side quests, all that time you put into the characters don't matter. They just get small little vignettes if you do them. But guess what? If you do the vignettes, doesn't even matter. Like I helped Miranda find her sister. Does she show up in the final game of the game? No, not really. Does Jax do anything? No, I rescued her and her kids, and they're now fighting with like me against the Warfront. Doesn't matter. Don't even know where they are. Hell, except for the 2 party members I picked to join me on the final mission, those people don't even show up. There's no risk. There's no like hard decisions to make about who do you save, who do you risk, whatever. So it's like, what was the point of Mass Effect 2? It introduced a bunch of characters that have no reason to be there. Like, you could have done Mass Effect 1 and jumped straight into Mass Effect 3, and I think the game would have been the same. Like, it doesn't really matter. So you make a lot of choices. Like for me, I saved the Rachni Queen, right? Get to Mass Effect 3, doesn't really matter. Like, sure, they're there, but like, they don't do anything for the war effort. So like, I'm building this war party, and I'm making decisions that supposedly have ramifications for the entire series. No, not really. You get to Mass Effect 3 and they're all there. Like, the decisions don't really matter what you made. It's got this story that's railroaded there. And so I think that's like a problem with Mass Effect 3, but it's also just a problem with the series as a whole. Like, it doesn't have a coherent story from beginning to end. It kind of just like pivots in the second one, and it's like, okay, you got these two games that can be interchangeable. You can start with Mass Effect 2 or you can start with Mass Effect 1 and then go to 3, but there's no necessity that you need to play all three. So,
well, it's definitely a take.
I mean,
it's a take.
Adam, what, like, am I wrong here? Like, I know this is your favorite series, but like nothing matters in the decisions you made in this game. Like, there are.
If you want me to be perfectly honest, the actual argument is that not a damn thing matters in anything in the series. Right. Like, that's the thing. But that's why I like 2 so much, is because it decides to go way more into the companion stuff, where it's more like a one-on-one side story stuff. Because at the end of the day, the main stuff doesn't matter. So I might as well pull from the stuff that like ends up being something that's more fun to me, which is those personal stuff that has these little like one-off side stories. Sure. Yeah, I can totally see the argument for Mass Effect if you just like the small little story vignettes, but it doesn't go anywhere or do anything. Also, thing with Mass Effect 2, there's a whole thing at the end of like, what do you do with this like Reaper tech? The Elusive Man wants it. Do you keep it? Like, do you destroy it or give it to the Elusive Man? Hey, guess what? Doesn't matter in the end, because at the beginning of Mass Effect 3, guess what? They've recovered Reaper technology, and they're now trying to use it. So like, but that goes to what I'm saying, is that your complaint seems to be with the story of the game, whereas the reason that I like 2 so much is because it's the stuff that actually has nothing to do with the main plot, because it's way more fun there. And I think this might be where you and I as gamers like differ, right? I obviously want something with a good characterization, but for me, it's plot that I look for in I look for plot. It's just I look for it in the sense of like the overall like little things, because I mean, obviously I'm a JRPG guy, so I love the little stuff. And I think that's for me why I'm not into JRPGs. I like the big long narrative, and I find that this one has a very problematic narrative across the whole series. Not to say that this game is bad, not saying that in any stretch, but I'm just saying that it's very disjointed, and from someone who's coming in late, I was surprised at the amount of hype and love and like how much esteem this game has amongst the gaming community. And to me, I don't see it. So I don't know.
Definitely a take. I've only played the first one, so I can't compare any of it. Now we're obviously way past the point where spoilers would be necessary at this point, because it's been a joke for this long. Your thoughts on the quote unquote ending of the trilogy? I mean, underwhelming for sure. And what did you choose? For me, I chose to destroy the Crucible. You made the right choice then. Good. Exactly, right? Like, I felt it was dumb just at the end. Like, this kid somehow I'm assuming that they're a construct of my mind, but this came out of nowhere, right? Well, I was gonna tell you. There's a brief. I'll give you because it's been a while since I've gone deep into it. Because obviously I was really deep into this idea when the game's first finished. Have you ever heard of the indoctrination theory with Mass Effect 3? What? It sounds familiar, but I'm not sure. So the theory that a lot of fans have had is that at the very early point in the game, where you're like, there's that kid that's like going on a shuttle at the very beginning of the game when you're like getting people off of Earth. No one seems to acknowledge that kid's there. You would think that a bunch of soldiers seeing a kid trying to crawl to get on a ship would help. No one notices the kid there. And around that point is when the Reapers are making these big screeching sounds. And the lore tells you that when they fail to indoctrinate somebody, that they let out a screeching sound because somebody snapped Shepard out of like what he was looking at that time. So people have been theorizing that basically from about the start of Mass Effect 3 onward is just the Reapers slowly trying to indoctrinate you, and that the last really hour of the game is its actual last-ditch effort of trying to fully finish the job. And the only option of you destroying
picking the destroy option is you still rejecting the indoctrination, because the other two people theorize would mean that you've given up because you're either taking control of the Reapers or you're synthesizing with them, which either way is a way to trick you into thinking that, you know, you're making it work with them when the reality is you're becoming a slave. That's the theory that's been going around for a while. Now, obviously, it's not a thing, but...
Yeah, which
like,
is also way more compelling than the ending.
And that's why I think people have really stuck to it, because it makes it way more interesting when you think about that possibility, because a lot of stuff kind of adds up.
Yeah, I think the ending's dumb, and I think it's like...
It's clear that the writing team fragmented at that point. It's very obvious that happened.
But it's also at the same point, like, how do you end this game? Like, I think it was just there's too many threads, and like you couldn't make it all distinguishing. But it's just like, I don't know. It was
I think
underwhelming.
You could have
like,
easily had a definitive ending of you destroy the Reapers. Like, that's it. You destroy them.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. It seems like something that you could have easily done. You were going through the entire process of building a super weapon for them. So like, what else is the goal here? So
yeah. And that's what I would have liked to have seen. Like, I would have liked to have seen the game be like, hey, how much do you, like, you have to destroy these Reapers, and how hard is it based on, like, what you do? Like, hey, guess what? If you have, like, the Rachni coming to help you, like, you know, you get a boost for managing this or adjusting that, whereas, you know, none of it matters. Like, the war party you build doesn't matter.
Yeah, and that's kind of the biggest thing. Like, that's why a lot of people really don't take the 3 very well. It's because your complaints about things not mattering really accentuate in 3.
Yeah.
Because
no, for sure.
You would think on such a massive scale that at least some decisions would matter, and then it just ends up being a pick one of 3 option at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, like, at least with the suicide mission in 2, like, depending on your companionship and how you've raised their levels, depending on the choices you make with who you send, actually can determine who lives or dies. And in fact, like, you know, Shepard can even die in that. So, like, there's definite possibilities that, like, I think that's, again, why people lean to 2 a little bit more anyway, because at least there are moments there where there actually is genuine what you do. You could fuck up royally and lose several people in that game.
And that's the thing. Like, I like the suicide mission in the end where, like, you know, the role, like, the trust and the, like, there's a reward for building that trust amongst the team where there isn't in Mass Effect 3. I think, though, like, narratively, I like the story better in Mass Effect 3. I'm just disappointed that the promise of Mass Effect and that, like, the choices you make matter in the game kind of falls off at the end, but I like the story better in Mass Effect 3.
I think if anybody today, like, is advertising that those in the Mass Effect trilogy the choices matter, I think you're forgetting what games in that era were, where choices never did matter. They never did. They were all illusion of choice in that era.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't until, like, games like Disco Elysium where we started noticing, oh, that's what that's actually supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And it's now starting to take shape a little bit more now.
So, yeah. So I'm done with it. I'm not going to do Andromeda.
It's okay. You really shouldn't.
No, I don't think I'm going to. So I'm just holding off now.
Although somehow I'm scared of, like, you actually playing and be like, guys, this is, like, the best one. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? And, like, be serious about it.
It would be interesting to see, but I'm waiting for Saros now. Or Saros or whatever it's called.
Well, that's another thing that I'm kind of keeping in the back burner, too, because I'm hearing a lot of good things. Like, a lot of people are saying, like, this has Game of the Year potential.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that, and then it's either that or... I'm going to start with that and then eventually move over to Pragmata.
Yeah. The one thing, I will say, the one thing that I did try and didn't get into at all, a lot of people have been talking really good about it, was Replace, the one that popped up on Game Pass recently. I hate it.
Too.
Why?
What?
Because it's one of the most slow games I've ever played in my life.
Oh.
It's so slow and just repetitive. Like, visually, it's fantastic. I love how it looks. But, like, in terms of the actual game loop, it sucks. Like, that's been my biggest thing.
Interesting.
I put about an hour into it, and I was playing it in a Discord with friends, and I'm like, I'm sorry, man, but if you've got me doing nothing of interest in an hour, and I'm just literally, like, just walking and fighting and walking and fighting, like, nah, I'm out, man. I don't... Because the game's 12 hours plus. Like, I ain't got time for this shit. I mean, who knows? Maybe people get a different eye on it, but, like, I don't know what the hype is on that game, to be honest.
Interesting.
Probably the art style.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big part of it. People thought it looked really, really cool. I mean, it's why I was interested in it. And, like, at first, because it starts off very slow, but I'm like, look, I've played JRPGs for basically a living at this point. If I could get paid, I would. So I'm used to slow starters. The problem is JRPGs, when they slow start, there's at least a story to at least start to get you introduced to stuff. an hour into Replace, I don't feel like I still have any clue of A, where I'm at, B, what's going on, and C, what my goal even is. So, like, it's a little tough.
It's either to be replaced or avoid being replaced, I think.
Well, I replaced that game with something else. But I digress. So yeah, unless anybody else has got anything else to bring up to play-wise, otherwise I think we'll move on.
Let's go.
All right, well, Black Flag. It's finally a thing, even though it's been a thing that we've known about for a long time. Although I say that, we've been saying that for Final Fantasy IX for forever, and now it sounds like that's dead, so I guess, I shouldn't say too much, because that's always a possibility of that going away. But yeah, they finally announced that Resynced is coming, and large in part, I mean, I've seen, the whole video itself, I've seen people's reactions to it. It sounds to me, at least from the vibes that everybody else is getting, that this is exactly what we've been asking for.
Yes. I've noticed a lot of that too, like online and everything, with everybody talking about it. But in my head, they're like, oh, we finally got a good Assassin's Creed game. We're finally getting a good one. It's like, this is a remake. This isn't a new Assassin's Creed game. We already had this one. It just has a new coat of paint. Like, even if if this is like your favorite Assassin's Creed and it's like, I finally got a good one. It's like, you're just replaying something you've already played probably.
Yeah, but this game's also old enough too that I think we've mostly forgotten all of it. So I don't think it's
true.
It's that. It's not a Last of Us Part 2 remastered Part 3,
Remastered Part 3. I will say that at first when it was playing, I was like, oh, like, I don't need this. Like, I already have this still on my PC and it looks great. And then a couple more scenes came out and I saw like how upgraded the lighting was and stuff, like sailing around. I was like,
like, I know I need to go back to this because I need to test if I actually do like this series anymore, or if it literally is just a case that my taste in gaming has completely changed. Because like the last one I finished is Odyssey, so it's been some time. So I'm wondering if I'm just burnt out of these kind of games, or if it's just they've just been that bad for me. Because Black Flag is still my favorite of the series. So if I go back and play this again, which I will do, and I don't end up finishing it, I'll know why now. I'll know it's the game loop that I don't like anymore. And that'll finally like cement to me that, okay, so it's not that the series sucks anymore, it's just they're not for me at all anymore.
Yeah. What about you, Kaylan? I can see, I don't think this is your favorite Assassin's Creed.
Because he's mad there's not a Splinter Cell remake yet.
Okay. I am not here to yuck anyone's yum. If you are excited for Assassin's Creed Black Flag, all the more power to you. I like Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It was great when I played it. I don't have an interest in going back to this game. I think that like this game is really cool from a game. Like, it's a really good pirate game, bogged down with a crappy Assassin's Creed game. And for me, like, I don't see the reason why we need this. Like, this seems just like a quick, easy cash grab for Ubisoft. I mean, of the Assassin's Creed games I'd like to see remade, like, sure, I could see this one being a top contender, but, like, the story was never super great with Black Flag. Like, it was a really mediocre story. The Assassin's Creed stuff was barely in this, but it was in it enough that it kind of moved away from a pirate game. And for me, like, it's just, I don't see why we need this. Like, this game is a 13-year-old game, but I mean, it came out on the PS4. Like, it's one generation back. And so it's still technically playable. So I don't see why we need it. They're not including any of the DLC that was on here. I don't see the reason or the need for us to update it. I'd rather see these resources go towards making something else, making something new. Like, I'd love to see the Assassin's Creed Black Flag gameplay stuff move into like its own game, which is what we were hoping with Skull and Bones.
I was gonna say they did. It just didn't go very well.
I know, right?
Not at all.
But like, it's not a great Assassin's Creed game, and it's a better pirate game, but it's not a great pirate story game either. And it was a weird point in the Assassin's Creed where like the main story was going nowhere, that like this doesn't feel like it's conclusively ending or anything like that as I remember it. So I don't know. I'm like, not to say, we shouldn't have it. If you want this, cool, I'm super happy for you. But for me, it's not something I get excited for.
Yeah. This one, I remember when it came out, I was torn on it when I played it back then, because I was missing the very traditional like Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, and I felt 3 went a little too open world and not as interesting. And then this one, like all of a sudden you're on the sea and it's like I just want to parkour buildings. Like why do I have a boat?
Oh no, the boat part is amazing. It's like one
Yeah,
of the
no,
best
it
parts.
is great. It is great as a pirate game, like you said. But as an Assassin's Creed fan, I was like, I just want to parkour. This is an ocean. I can't parkour in the ocean. I have a theory that the reason they went back to this one is just because it would have been one of the easier ones to do. They already remastered 3. This one is like old enough that it doesn't feel like, oh, this just came out. So like, why are you remaking it? It's too soon. But it's also still new enough that the game engine getting upgraded and stuff wouldn't be crazy where you'd have to like start from the ground up. They could probably take the original game code and just kind of upgrade it in a way. I would have preferred if they had gone back to Assassin's Creed 1 or 2, like somewhere around then, because those ones, you can still play them on, say, PC, and they've had like the Ezio collection and all that kind of stuff. But it's like I would have preferred remakes, honestly, of those ones. But I think like when you look at this one, even if you're looking on the video version right now and you're seeing all the lighting and stuff, I think that's a big part of it. They could make this look beautiful with sunsets on the ocean and on the water effects. Like they could really impress with this, where 1 and 2, there's no ocean. There you wouldn't get a lot of those effects and the crazy like amount of lighting from the sun and stuff. You could, but it wouldn't look as impressive. So I think that, I don't know, I think it's more of just it was the easier one to go.
I think it's the safe bet. I think that's why. It's
and
the
it's
one
a
that
safe bet
everyone's
because,
asking for. So, and they kind of, well, I'm not going to sit here and say that like the series is in dire straits, but like Ubisoft as a whole is in dire straits. Like people are kind of pissed off with them right now. So Ubisoft needs the easiest layup that they can possibly do. Now, they could still fuck this up somehow, and then now we really know that they're screwed. So, but like this is their way of going like, okay, we need something that can get us a quick win now because we need it so badly because everything is screwed up. Like, I think that they were hoping that everyone would just automatically love Shadows because all we've been asking for a long time was a Japanese Assassin's Creed. And it came out and, like, it got decent reviews, but, like, I don't think a lot of people are necessarily talking, like, Assassin's Creed is back or Assassin's Creed is better than ever. I think most people are just going, well, it was another one.
I think that with Shadow, like, it didn't do gangbusters, but I think for the most part, like the people who like Assassin's Creed liked Assassin's Creed Shadows. But
yeah,
well, but that's what I mean. It's like they're not sitting there saying like, oh, it's better than it's ever been. I think they're just going, all right, that was fine.
Yeah,
I think one of the issues also with the new ones is they're so much more expensive to make that it has to be so crazy successful to like really make them a lot of money.
Which is why I don't understand why they don't just kind of stick to the size that Mirage does.
I know.
I know the reason why. It's because people online would bitch because it's not a 200-hour game anymore. But
yeah, there is that. Yeah, because these games like that, I do understand that like developers do need to kind of have their main AAA game they're working on, and then they have the smaller indie-ish stuff or AA, and then the remasters or remakes that are pretty easy to make because you need that extra income coming in while you work on the big game. Like it makes sense why they would have remasters and remakes, and I understand why they chose this one. But yeah, I think it really is like they need that easy win because I think they need the financials. I really do think it is just that, and obviously the goodwill. Make everybody forget about, Valhalla.
Well, okay, I'll look at it this way. They're doing Black Flag so they can make the money now so Splinter Cell can come later.
No.
Yeah. Gotta hope. Like, once again, and I come across as negative, and I don't want to. Like, I'm actually, like, super happy. Like, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be able to experience this game for the first time, and, like, it's a great game. It's not what I want to see the resources go towards.
I mean, I could be negative, too, and just go, I don't trust Ubisoft to even do this well because every time they try to do anything they fuck it up. So like my brain is in the back of my mind, I'm going, they're gonna screw this up somehow. I don't know how, but they're gonna screw this up.
No, this is an easy layup for them, and like
that's why my back of my brain is going, yeah, but how, like they're gonna find some ridiculous way to fuck this up. Like it's gonna somehow release in the most broken state any Assassin's Creed ever has come out in.
Oh my goodness, can you imagine?
Yeah, that would be pretty bad for a remake, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I will eventually get it. This won't be like a day one Assassin's Creed
No.
for me like the other ones are. Technically, I still have the game on Steam. I can play it on my Steam Deck and just like play that on the go, which I wouldn't be able to do with this new one. But
But this Malibu Stacy has a new
Eventually.
hat.
yeah, that's true. I do need the new hat.
Yeah, like I'm in the all right when you're like because I don't know how much it's going to be priced at either, but like
I think it's full
Oh,
price.
it's like yeah, it's full price.
if it's full price, I'm like okay, well we'll see how I feel when you're under 40.
And this is, I think, the problem that Ubisoft has. Is I think, like a lot of comments I was seeing is like, cool, I'm going to wait to buy it in 5 months when it's $20 for Black Friday.
Well, and that's the problem that they've put themselves into because, well, when you release games that people don't want to pay full price for and you quickly shoot the price down, well, what do you think people are going to do in the long run? Because, like, and the argument that we've had so many times is like, look, I understand if you're trying to make the most money, so you want to full price your games, but, like, you need to the quality that you need today. Because I don't understand why developers haven't figured this out yet, because games like Helldivers 2 and others have figured this out. People do not have the finances to spend $100 on a game every couple of weeks. Stop assuming that. And if you're going to play that game, don't be shocked when you have a stretch after launch where no one touches your game for like 6 months because everyone's waiting for half off. Like you're going to get your 1 to 2 million and you're going to laud those numbers like, oh my God, we went gold and the game isn't even out yet. And we'll be like, that's cool, but no one's going to buy the game the second it's out because all those people have already bought it. So like, we keep coming back to this stuff where it's like, well, you know, Ubisoft is always struggling to get people to kind of to go in touch with their games. It's like, well, no shit. They haven't made a good game. Like they haven't made a bona fide game of the year game and I have no idea how long. So the expectation that people are going to go out of their way to pay full price for anything they put out right now is kind of laughable unless you're like hardcore into that stuff. Like if you are a bona fide Black Flag is the greatest game of all time for me, yeah, of course you're day one-ing this. No shit. But like everybody else is sitting here being like, that's sick. I'm going to play that at some point. Just not for $80.
Yeah, no, I don't think I can pay that much.
I don't even know what
for it.
Ubisoft can announce that can make me do that right now. It's a trust issue.
Yeah, I was just looking
That's
at
what I
their
mean. Though.
pricing.
You're the bona fide hardcore one for that, Kayla. There, I don't think there is anything Ubisoft has that I'm bona fide hardcore for. I think the closest I can think of is maybe if there's a new South Park game, and even then, I probably still wait.
Yeah, if it was a brand new Assassin's Creed, I'd day one it for sure. Like I'm very much.
You guys are suckers.
I mean, yeah, but I do play it and get the platinum, so I do play it. It's not like where it just ends up in the backlog. I will admit that. I was just looking at the pricing structure for all the Assassin's Creed games because I was like, wonder what like you could just buy Black Flag for the original because it's still available on all the stores and everything, and it's $50.
Yeah,
like Canadian. I'm talking Canadian, but I'm like, what the heck? Syndicate's only 40, and Unity
Well,
is
you know what?
30.
I wonder, like, if you could look at the prices here, I wonder if they peaked it up
Bumped it
because, you know, they don't want to cannibalize their Resynced prices.
Yeah.
well, you know
'Cause
what's the term they have for all the pricing now they do based on like time?
Dynamic pricing.
Dynamic pricing.
Dynamic.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's already not 60.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I'd rather go back and buy Unity for $29.99 and
Right.
play that. Yeah.
Unity's so
or
good.
wait till it's on sale because like even Odyssey is 80% off right now and like $10.
I mean, the great idea is just not playing any old Assassin's Creed now because why?
Because they're good. The old ones especially.
And
They
they
are
haven't.
good.
I mean, I can't imagine they've aged that well.
You just gotta be okay with like janky parkour.
Parkour.
So normal Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, no, like I'm not gonna sit here and say like this is the best decision like Ubisoft's ever made. It's just probably the smartest decision they've made in some time. And
Yeah.
assuming that nothing goes wrong and it comes out in a good state and it's just what we remember plus improvements, it's a good foundation for the next one. And that's about as nice as I can get with it. Because, I mean, look, it is for a lot of people their favorite, so it's the right call. If you were going to pick one, it's the right call. The reality is Ubisoft has a lot of work to do. They are in, I think they're even worse off than what Capcom was when, like, around the time the Resident Evil 6 was out and people were just, like, so sick and tired of that company. And it took Capcom a good 5-ish years of consistently hitting banger after banger to the point that a game like Pragmata is getting Game of the Year nominations now in people's minds. And that's a game that, like, everybody kind of looked at it first and went, well, that's fucking weird. But it's Capcom, so I'm curious.
Yeah, for sure.
So who knows? Like, maybe by the time it's 2031 when we're still doing the show and we come on and be like, man, Ubisoft is just hitting it right now. I don't think that's going to happen because I don't think that company can figure itself out at this point. I'll be more shocked if it's alive in 5 years than if it's making bangers at that point. But I think as a whole, like as it stands right now, like they made the right call today to be announcing this, to be working on this, and it's just a matter of, okay, you've done the layup, assuming it all goes well, you've made the layup. Now it's time to start playing defense, and when you get the ball again, it's time to start hitting some 3-pointers because you need to catch up.
Yeah. And it sucks because they've had a couple of like actually decent games that just kind of go under the radar. Like that Avatar game that came out, I actually loved that. I thought it was a really good, beautiful game. I think it's probably the most beautiful game that's out that you can get right now, like graphically. But yeah, everybody just kind of notices their big IPs, and that's where sometimes they stumble and they stumble.
Well, they've
hard.
been the
or they
kings
have something
of,
great like Mirage.
They've been the kings of basically mid or slightly above mid for like a while now.
Yeah, which I don't mind them being the comfort food developer. That's how I see
price.
Assassin's Creed and stuff. But I mean, depends. Yeah, but yeah, like I do hope that Ubisoft does get itself back to what people used to think of it, because I don't want them to stop making some of these games, and the ones that have kind of faltered, I want them to come out with good versions of them again, because I genuinely did love those and would love to love them again.
Well, speaking of getting back to things that we used to, have them at, well, that's a great segue to Xbox Game Pass.
It's a segue.
It's a segue.
So they announced last week. I think it might have got announced like around, either it was right after we recorded or like something around the same day. Like it was somewhere close. But
yeah, it was pretty close.
They reduced the price. They also talked about adding like a weird, like small version of it that Discord Nitro users have. So I was jokingly saying to Chris, I'm like, wow, I complained enough about Game Pass that I got it back without even doing anything. I don't have to pay for it now.
Yeah.
But they are reducing it, so it was, and this is going to be US dollars, so it's going from $29.99 down to $22.99. That's for Ultimate, and then PC Game Pass is dropping down to $13.99 a month, which is a little more reasonable. I still wouldn't put it in the territory of I'm going to go back to having a monthly running subscription of it again, but it's in the sense of like, okay, now we're talking about, okay, if you got enough stuff in a month, I can probably justify it again. But like, it's, and I will say this too, like, so far the decisions that why am I blanking on her name? It's Usha. I can't remember her last name, but like the
Asha Sharma.
Yeah. So far, like I talked really bad about my expectations of what was going to happen with her in charge because she came from the AI team. So far, they've made the right calls on everything. So at this point, so until things change, they're on the path that I'm hoping they're on. So it's progress. It's just a matter of, can we keep the momentum there? But I mean, to start off, like, is the drop of basically like a 20 to 25% drop, is that enough in your minds to make you think that the service is worthwhile, or is this still a wait and see proposition for you guys?
I think this is a smart move. I mean, the original price, I think it went up from was $19.99. So I mean, with inflation and how everything's going, like, I think if they had come back, at the fall and had been like, hey, we're going from $19.99 to $23, I don't think anyone would have, like, screamed on the rooftops.
Yeah, because it was like a 50% jump they did, which is just
yeah,
absurd.
It was like, 50. It went from $19.99 to $29. But I feel like, with everything that's happened with inflation, everything's going up in price. I think a $3 a month increase, $36 over the whole year isn't a lot. That, for me, I think that makes sense. The one thing that they are doing is... I find interesting is they're lowering the price for the PC. And I always find it weird how PC kind of gets this preferential treatment amongst all their gamers, when in reality, PC players are probably their least loyal customers, or their least value. I don't want to say valued, but least profitable customers.
Well, we're not going to pretend that Microsoft, a PC company, is not going to still have its blind spot, that it just seems to just not care. They just want to.
Yeah, I get that,
they
but
want their Windows clientele to be happy at all times. Apparently,
I get that, but it once again minimizes like why would you buy, especially if they're getting to the point where like the next Xbox is just a PC. Like why would you buy a closed off ecosystem when it's cheaper or better just to get a PC game and then just use like Game Pass for PC.
Yeah, I'm definitely not saying it's a smart decision. It's just that's their logic. I think.
I don't think it's a bad decision, but it's a weird decision that like you're taking advantage of your most loyal and diehard fan base, right? The people who are subscribing to Game Pass are the one like, and not the PC ones, are the ones who have a console. Like they're the ones who've given you the extra money just for the just for the privilege of like paying for your games and your services. Like they're the ones committing to your ecosystem compared to the PC gamers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think because PC, when Microsoft started going into it with all of this stuff, unfortunately they were late to the game. And I think that's where their huge issue was. Because you already had Steam, which was massive, and has free online, free cloud saves, and games are like 80% off every single day. Like you can get things so cheap. And if Microsoft had come in and was like, hey, if you have this subscription, not only can you play the games here, you get online cloud saves and you can play with your friends online and stuff like that. If they had come in earlier and had this set up before Steam had grown, they would have been able to have the PC be the exact same as the console. But because they came so late, they also know that PC players can just pirate games. Like pirating on a console, obviously nowhere near as easy. You got to like actually hack the system itself. Usually happens well after the system is no longer being, supported and all that. PC, you can download Pragmata or something like a week after it's out. Somebody will finally hack it, and there it is. So if it's on Game Pass for $30, that's still a fair bit of money every month just to play a game that you could probably just go on a website and figure out how to get it if you're willing to do that. Steam gets around this just by having all the features for free and the game's like super cheap. So it's like, it's not even worth pirating this game because I can just buy it for $8 and I don't have to do all that work kind of thing. It's not exactly like that, but you know what I mean. Like it's kind of like what's available around the game that they've offered. And even with the Xbox app on PC, the thing is like honestly pretty shit. It just looks like a bunch of thumbnails and you click on it. It has less life than like the home screen of the Nintendo Switch. It is just dead. It's like a Nintendo Switch, but with like ads around it and stuff too.
Mine's also broken. I can't even get back into mine on this.
I have
my other
had
PC
that
it
three
works,
times.
but on this one, it straight up will not recognize my login. It says
that's happened to me
I'm not
3
connected
times.
to the internet, and I'm like, you are the most dumb app I've ever seen.
I've had it where it won't let me log in because it's like, oh, you're not like you don't have a Game Pass subscription and stuff, and yet I'm logged into my computer in the same Hotmail account that I'm logged into my Xbox.
Yeah,
with.
you think
like,
when it's
the
connected
same
to your
thing.
Windows account that it would recognize, oh yeah, the email that I'm easily able to open and have no problems with, it should just transfer to this thing. But the Xbox app apparently goes, I'm not even on this planet right now. I have no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah. I think it'll change once the new Xbox is coming out because it's going to be a PC and everything. They've got to obviously merge these two ecosystems, and it's going to be very interesting how they do that. They have to figure out how this PC clientele that they've been just basically, bending over for to have a cheaper subscription service with free cloud saves and all that. And you've got your console people who are your more loyal, like actual Xbox fans who are willing to pay $22 a month and pay for online and all this other stuff. You got to somehow bring both of those together and keep both groups happy. So it's like, I can see the console people being slightly happy if it's like, hey, technically everything's now a PC, so Game Pass is going to be even cheaper because it's kind of PC-like, but like they're not going to keep it at the cheap PC price. That's true. And you can't keep it at the cheap PC price. I don't imagine that working out. I mean, who knows? It's all a numbers game, so who knows? But yeah, like if you raise that price, you're going to piss off some people on PC, so they've really got themselves stuck with having these two different groups of people on two different financial tiers. Like it is pretty weird. I agree.
They at least made a smart decision too, in that they also announced that games like Call of Duty will not be there day one anymore. And honestly, and we've been saying this for a while, that's what Sony should have been doing on their own service a long time ago. You know, that service that no one uses? Because, like, the idea of a game that's like, hey, make your money on the first, especially the first 6 months, but like day one, make your money in full price value. Like Call of Duty, whether it's whatever the next Halo they do is, like all those. Same with Sony, your next Marvel game, Uncharted, like whatever the next big thing is, like Intergalactic. You should be trying to make bank on those. But then for those that you know are not going to ever pick this game up, like that's the point where like, all right, well, we're getting your monthly dollars. So here, now you can finally take a crack at this game and boom, it's done. Instead, it's like, if you're lucky, 3 years later, it pops up on the service, and then it goes away again after 9 months, which makes so much sense. So, like, at least with Xbox making the call for this, that makes a way more sense, because we've been saying before, too, that why are you putting everything on there? Because it guarantees are the ones that are going to sell, like, the 5+ million copies. You're sacrificing so much extra money to that. Like, imagine what Starfield would have done had it come out as just a full game release that there was no attachment to Game Pass on. Granted, would we have wanted to pay full price for it? I wouldn't have, but like a lot of people, based on their thoughts of the trailers at the time, they would have, and that was a lot of money that they passed on.
I bought an Xbox for Starfield.
Yeah, that's true.
But like that, Indiana Jones, like if the Perfect Dark game had come out, like, or I guess a lot of the games that would have come out but they've canceled recently.
True.
There's so much money that was getting left on the table that it was foolish of them to take this long to make this call. And I'm sure they felt stuck because, like, well, if we don't, like, what's going to happen? It's like, guys, it's Call of Duty. Like, some of these franchises, like, come on. Like, they're not going to leave.
I think there's also a very smart decision in terms of taking Call of Duty off of, like, day one release, because what you're doing is if it's, like, let's say an actual 1 year past launch, what you're doing is like assuming there's another Call of Duty the following year around the same time. It's always around October-ish.
Exactly, yeah.
What you're doing is I think you're also rejuvenating the series. Like, so you now have 2 live service games going on simultaneously, in that what'll happen is your diehard players for Call of Duty will migrate to the newest one in the series, but not everyone's going to make that migration and that transition. Some are going to stay in the previous year. But now by offering it for Game Pass for free 1 year later, you're now bringing a new cohort into the game that even if you migrate your top players, it's not going to kill the year before in terms of its money revenue possibilities.
And I mean, even with games that don't have that luxury, like by about that time, there's a good shot that you've probably got DLC coming up for that game, and you don't have to add that to Game Pass. Like, you can easily make that. It's like, okay, for those that did not want to get this game at launch, well, here it is on Game Pass. And if you end up really liking this game, well, hey, guess what? There's DLC if you want something extra to it. So there's still money to be made elsewhere. So having that as an option, whether it's like if we're talking on the Sony side, like anything that was being done with the Spider-Man games, like that's a perfect game that, like, look, the vast majority of your consumer base is getting that day one or within the first couple of months. So like if you wait, let's even say 18 months as that long, like there's no reason that you can't put that on your service afterward, because the vast majority of them have gone and already gotten it. You're basically asking people that have either just bought the console or, it wasn't their thing, or they weren't willing to pay it until like maybe it was going to be half off, but now, okay, well, it's only maybe 30% right now, and I know in a couple of months they'll probably put it on the service. Okay, cool. I'll either sign up for that service if I haven't already, or, I'm already using the service here, so perfect chance for me to put something else into it. Like, it just makes perfect sense to be doing this with your biggest titles. Make the big full price money for the first 12 months, and then throw it on your service. Because after that, like, it's the same reason that, like, with the piracy thing, it's like most of the people that pirate the game were never going to buy it in the first place. It's the same thing with putting a game on Game Pass. Most of the people that are going to play it on Game Pass in 12 months were never going to buy that game.
No.
So there's no reason not to use this. So the fact that they're making this call is again another correct call. And all I can hope for now is that with them lowering the prices of Game Pass for the time being, that hopefully we can go 6 months without it going up again. That would be nice. We'll see if it lasts the end of this year. That would be a good spot. I'm afraid that by the time we get into the fall that we'll find that, it's going up to $24 or $25.99 now. And we'll be like, All right, here it goes again. They learned the lesson. Just don't do 50% increases. Just slowly chip away at it.
I think this is for the foreseeable future going to be the price, unless there's
I'm hoping.
Unless there's some drastic revamping of the entire system. I don't see them making any changes. I think right now what Xbox needs is like stability.
Well, but that's the concern, right? Is Xbox has always started to have stability and then immediately backtrack again and fuck it up again. So, and again, like I'm trying really hard not to let my anti-capitalist brain go into play, but I assume every time that they're going to make the greedy decision. So I will be stunned if we go the rest of this year without a price increase again, because it seems like an inevitability. But if we don't, okay, good start. We'll continue to see where things go from here. But like I said, I'm glad to see that so far the stretch since Usha's taken over has been good. And my brain is still hardwired to go to, they're going to fuck it up eventually. It's like what we just said with Ubisoft. It's like, they're going to fuck this up somehow. And I'm sitting here with Xbox being like, they're making a lot of good decisions right now. What the hell are they going to do to reverse all of that goodwill again? Because it seems to be what they do every freaking time. So that's my concern. But as it stands right now, this is the call to make. This is the correct call in every facet. You've lowered the price. You've now made a smart business decision for your biggest games on the library to not put them on their day one. That makes sense. So and even the Nitro thing, that's a cool thing to branch out to, because now it's like, hey, it gets people's toes wet in the water, and that leads to future subscriptions down the line too. So like, they're doing the right things to get people in the door. Now, we have to remember the other part of that, which is having a library, which when you cancel a lot of games, kind of screws that up. So that's still a work in progress. We'll hope that Fable actually comes up and we'll get to see some of that. But, as of right now, like, I don't even know, like, what's the next big thing they're releasing? Like, do we even have
Forza Horizon 6.
Yeah, okay, that's okay, yeah. But
Forza's out May 19th.
Apart from that, I'm trying to think of anything else. I don't even think anything else is dated other than that right now.
Kiln just came out.
Big
Claypot fighter.
Because like so much stuff got dropped in that recent set of cancellations that it's like
Halo Combat Evolved, the remake of Halo 1. That's coming out, and I think that Gears of War game had this year as its release date. E-Day or whatever.
Let's take a quick perusal to the 2026 release calendar, see if we can get
Well, Fable comes out in the fall.
Yeah, that's this fall.
But is it dated or is it just like fall?
It's just fall, I think.
Okay, yeah, that's the thing. I don't take
either.
season 2026 as a date, because that is a very easy thing to be like, oh, sorry, we're pushing this back. So
yeah.
While you're looking that up, just a fun fact, because I saw some people complain about this price decrease because of the losing Call of Duty. So I did a quick numbers thing just for anybody who is feeling that. It was $29.99. I'm going to do all U.S. numbers. It's now $22.99. That's a savings of $84 a year, which you can use to spend in U.S. dollars $79.99 on and just buy the new Call of Duty flat out and own it.
I mean,
and
technically, they're probably
$5.
like paying like an extra $5 in tax after that, but that's.
Well, no, because this is all before tax. Even the subscription has the tax on it. So, yeah, like you're saving $5 even if you buy Call of Duty every year and have Ultimate this way.
There you go.
So, and you now own the Call of Duty game forever. And if you're buying Call of Duty day one, or you really care,
be careful when you say that out loud, because you know that's still a fight.
You own the rental. But yeah, like it's cheaper no matter how you look at this. Like you're saving money and even getting to quote unquote own Call of Duty even more now. So the Call of Duty people should be happy, and everybody who doesn't play Call of Duty at least day one should definitely be happy, which I follow.
Well, asking people on the internet to be happy is a pretty difficult task.
No, the people complaining were on Reddit. It is not surprising that that's where they were.
Yeah. Just to clarify, yeah, there's nothing dated, like actual, like full-on date for Xbox outside of Forza right now. So, I mean, granted, there's time. Obviously, they're going to do a showcase probably in the next couple of months, so we should get a better outlook on stuff. But,
oh yeah, there's the June showcase.
Because there's also oh my god, what was that weird reggae like mansion game that they were showing up? I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be coming out this year.
Yeah, what was that?
I can't think of the name of it right now. Like they have stuff that will be on the service this year. You would expect. they
Are you talking about there are
like,
no ghosts at the grand reveal?
Yeah, that's the one.
At the grand, yeah.
Yeah, no ghosts at the grand or whatever it is. They need
That's
this
funny.
year to be. They need to like the fall to really cap off like a bit of a comeback year because they have been really down for a bit, and it seems like they're on the right path. And it's just a matter of okay, can they get the games to come out in a good state to also kind of further push the idea that they are on the right path as we get closer to whatever the next version of Xbox is going to look like, probably in the next few years. Because obviously, with all the shortages and the price increases on everything, we're probably still a few years away from whatever the next generation is going to look like.
Still probably a few years from the Steam machine too.
Yeah. But not the Steam controller, Kaylan's favorite.
Don't get me started on that.
He's gonna trackpad his way. It's gonna be so good.
You made your
Yeah.
choice with PC. You get a mouse and keyboard.
But yeah, I think right now, like as it stands, like with both Black Flag and with Xbox right now, like it's companies that are just trying to tread water and just keep their heads afloat while, you know, the life preserve is slowly inching its way over to them. Ubisoft, I
companies are
think,
just like
is
us.
way further away.
Just like us.
Got him. Man, that's the score pad. Sorry, Adam, you were saying something?
I was going to say, the life preserver is going up for both of them. I think Ubisoft's is way further away, and they're probably going to drown before it comes to them. But, like, Xbox is in a state where, like, it honestly would not take that much for them to get back into the good graces of people. I know that that's saying a lot given how I have no intention of going back to Game Pass for a while. Like, they burned that bridge pretty hard with me. But, like, you throw a couple of good games out there and you keep not saying stupid shit and making really dumb calls with like your pricing models and how you're trying to force people into certain stuff, it doesn't take much to get gamers back in when the AAA industry as a whole is kind of garbage. If you're like the one good sign right now, it's pretty easy to get yourself back into the good graces of people right now. So they're in a much better path. I think it's just a matter of shut the fuck up for a little while, guys. Just let the good things happen. Like, I know sometimes people in a boardroom feel like they have to do something to justify their jobs. Guys, I think we're at a point in life that you could put as a common skill in a resume, knowing when to shut the fuck up as a skill. Sometimes knowing when to, like, well, even putting in casino terms because they love to gamble and make really stupid decisions to try to win more money. Sometimes you just got to know when to stand. You don't always have to double down, man.
Yeah, I think they just need to make decisions that are good, put them out there, and like not say anything about it. Just like we don't need a ton of commentary about why the price is going down. Just like, all right, this is what we're doing.
Well, it's not even that. You
Do
don't
it,
need to
move
rock
on
the
and
boat.
do another good thing.
Just do things that you know will make your customer base happy, and then just leave them alone for a little bit.
Yeah.
PlayStation seems to learn this every generation. They're really nice for one, and then piss away that goodwill, come back later, and be like, okay, guys, we're really sorry. Here's this really awesome console. We're like, you guys, you figured it out again. I'm so happy. I love you guys. Wait, what? What? No, you're doing the PS3 thing again. Why? Stop doing that.
But, Sony's great at honestly saying nothing, even when we're like, hey, can you actually just confirm this? Are you removing your games from PC or not? You're just not going to say anything? Okay, cool.
Yeah, we do kind of constantly ask, like, so Sony, you are making games, right? And they'll just be like,
They appear, they drop Saros, and just bounce, and then we don't hear from them for a year.
and then we'll be like, so anything going on there at Naughty Dog? And they'll be like, well, we'll get back to you on that. And then we'll ask, well, what about this guy? I'm like, well, we canceled that. I'm like, well, it's a weird time, man.
It is.
It's like, I know it seems complicated to people in a boardroom right now, but here's the honest thing, guys. Just do good things, release games, and don't lay a bunch of people off, and you'll be okay in the good graces of people for a little while. Okay? Microsoft lays off 5,000 employees at the end of June, calling it.
Just to piss off you.
Well,
Just to
it's
piss off us.
it's quarterly shit, right?
Yeah.
I'm just assuming it. But alas, it's like I've said before on the show so many times. I'm okay with being wrong, because it usually means good things. Because I'm mostly pessimistic for stuff.
No.
Me? Nah.
Yeah, I really hope Ubisoft and Microsoft, like with Xbox specifically, obviously, they both get their shit in order, because I want good versions of those. Even if I don't play those games or use that system, which I currently do, but even if I didn't, I'd want, like as Kaylan says, a good, healthy Xbox. You want that because that keeps Sony, that keeps possibly Nintendo, probably not, but keeps other gaming people in the industry in line and makes the better for the consumer.
Well,
right?
it's like the idea of Ubisoft. Like, I shit on them all the time, and it's not because I hate them and I think they should fold. It's like, guys, I hate everything they're doing. I want them to be better. I remember that they used to be my favorite E3 show for like a few years. I want that again. I want to be excited over the fucking moon when Ubisoft is like, all right, we're going to have some announcements coming. And I'm like, fuck yeah, what crazy shit are you guys doing now? Instead, it's
Probably
like,
Just Dance.
all right, you're about to do another Assassin's Creed game that's just going to waste 100 hours of everybody's time. And then you're going to put out a bunch of ideas and then just never follow through with them. Beyond Good and Evil. Like,
It's on the way. They're going to do the sequel to Skull and Bones first, I think.
I don't know, man. It's hard to be optimistic when anything in the AAA industry is going out of its way to be like, one good thing, 3 bad things have to follow. It's why Capcom is such a mystifying experience right now. They just don't stop hitting right now. And when it used to be at a point that they couldn't stop tripping over everything they did. I'd love to be like in that point of Ubisoft where it's now them being like, they can't stop hitting bangers. But I digress.
It's true.
That's pretty much all I want to say. Anybody else got something they want to add?
Nope.
No, I think that's it.
That sounds
hope
like a
they get
plan
their
to me.
shit.
Sounds like an episode. So that is going to do it for us. That is 237 episodes in the can now. And that will leave us for this, and we'll see how things kind of go in the future. Now, granted, most of these things are going to be... Well, I don't even... Did Resync get a date? I can't remember. Did they date Black Flag yet?
July. I just remember July.
Yeah, it's July 7th, I think.
Perfect. So we'll know pretty quickly on that. Xbox, we'll see by the end of the year. Obviously, when the showcase comes around, we'll see how that goes. But anyways, folks, so that'll be it for us. So Friday, Kaylan actually managed to join us because I said the word Assassin's Creed out loud in the chat, and he went, what? And we did a top 5 Assassin's Creed locations. So that is your side quest to look forward to. And then Saturday morning, we're still continuing our quest to be a major leaguer. We're still... Or I should say the quest for a $200,000 bench press. Chris knows the real game here.
Hell yeah.
It was a hell of a journey as we got to the first little bit, like hitting 500, hitting like so goddamn on. The coach is like, you know what, this guy hitting the 160, that's the guy I want in my lineup over you. And I'm like, thanks, coach, appreciate you. And now we're at a point that he's like, all right, fine, I guess I can trust you because you're hitting generational numbers consistently. Now I get to play the real fun game, which is what happens if we even make the playoffs? Does our team even make the playoffs? And if so, can I even help? Because likely, no. Because that's usually how those modes work. You're like, I went in the playoffs, I hit 800 with 19 home runs. We still got swept because my team I was the only one hitting the baseball the entire time.
Yeah, they didn't know the objective.
But alas, that's what you guys got to look forward to, 9:30 a.m. sharp on Saturday morning. So come and hang out there if you like kicking off your morning. Pull up a coffee and just shoot the breeze with us, and we'll have some fun over there. But otherwise, that's going to do it, folks. So you guys know the drill on YouTube here. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on any audio platforms, if you can give us a rating there, please do so. Otherwise, share with all your gaming nerdy friends. And don't forget the link tree if you want to link to our Discord, social media, all that stuff. That's linktr.ee/pixelplay podcast. But otherwise, folks, enjoy the rest of your day wherever you may be, and we will check you guys on the next one. So take care, and bye-bye for now.